In the north, as the Icelandic autumn turns into winter, farmers round up their sheep, bringing them back to their farms, so they have a warm barn to stay in during the colder months. Their wool's particular qualities make it sought after for knitters like Helen Magnusson.
The good stuff, huh? The good stuff.
Sheep in Iceland, they just go freely in the mountain all summer.
Yeah, just roaming
Just
through the
roam
wilds.
freely.
Yeah.
And then in September, usually we have to round up, so they are herded back from the mountains, but then they belong to all the farmers in the area.
Yeah.
So you have to sort them. But getting the sheep is the big thing, because they've been wild.
All the sheep in Iceland are direct descendants of those brought here by the Viking settlers in the 9th and 10th century. In bygone times, they would have had to endure Iceland's erratic climate all year long. This has led the sheep to develop two types of wool.
Creamy, buttercream colours.
Yeah. And
The
now-
water-resistant outer fleece, called tog, and the thell layer, which keeps the sheep snug and warm, whatever the weather.
This is the wool, the best wool you get, because it's all clean.
Because they've been outside.
Yeah, because they've been outside all summer. Whereas the one that is from the shearing in March, it will be, they will have
rub off.
rubbing against each other. And then it will be full of poo and hay. And this wool usually, it will go into insulation or carpeting. And here we go.
I have to ask though, your passion for knitting, where did it begin? Was it in here in Iceland?
Well, I worked as a
Yeah.
lawyer for 3 years in Paris, and then after I went to Iceland, I was just like, okay, this is my home. And so I just quit my job, resigned from the bar, and moved to Iceland. Everybody thought I was completely crazy.
Helen wants to keep traditional Icelandic knitting alive. She runs knitting tours, taking tourists across glaciers and over rugged terrains or historical sites in search of inspiration for their next design.
Wow. So these are what houses are like.
Yeah, so
on the
this
edge
is
of the Arctic.
Exactly. So this is Grenjastaður, and this is one of the few turf farms that we have left in Iceland.
Right.
Like in the 1930s, you would have maybe 100,000 turf houses, and when you would go through the countryside, there would only be like houses of this type.
Yes.
But then they got all tear down, destroyed, and they come from the old Viking house. They are made with whatever was available on the terrain. So usually it's a blend of rocks and turf. And obviously this one has lots of stones.
Yeah, are they getting this from around
Yeah,
here?
they come from the lava field over there.
So in these intense conditions, you really need to keep warm here.
Yes, you do. So lots of wool, lots of sheep.
We're ready.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Icelandic people just survive here because of the sheep. Yeah, and imagine what it is like in the middle of the winter
So dark.
when there's absolutely no light. Careful, it's steep. So in winter time we would have maybe 15 people here.
Yeah. So this is the heart of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
house.
It's all a matter of tension and how to hold the yarns. So I'm just going to cast on. So I'm basically making a loop.
It's almost like a dance with your hands.
Yeah.
And I try it the other way, as in like just folding it around your finger.
Yeah,
Like that.
you can also do that.
Because it's close. But also, meant to ask, like, when people would traditionally be in this room knitting, was it quite a kind of communal activity? You'd be sitting next to each other and chatting, or was you kind of...
Yeah, so you didn't have any radio or TV, so there was usually someone like reading or singing poem or singing, then knitting,
Yeah,
because
as they go.
a little bit quicker. You're doing great.
So if people are visiting the north, how would they be able to tell like a traditional, real Icelandic sweater as opposed to one of these imitations?
There are some standards to it that have been set by law. So if you want a real loppy sweater, then you will get one, you will have the name of the knitters on it. If you don't, it's not. And it cannot be called Icelandic loppy sweater either.
What do I do next here?
Well, I mean, you just break the yarn and then you just drag it through.
Pull it
And
through.
that's it.
Aha! Look
You
at
make-
that!
You've made your first swatch.
I feel so proud. Gosh, it really is one of those things. The more you do it, the better you get, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to take a long time to get to your speeds.
So how do you?
Enjoyed the experience.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's very therapeutic. Like I felt very it's mindful.